So lesson 1.5 talks about simplifying radicals with variables. Just like we did in 1.4, I always want to have a goal in mind when I'm simplifying my radicals. So my goal when I'm simplifying radicals with variables is that I want to expand the variables or multiply them out and then group them based on the index number. Okay, so if you remember, the index number here, if it's blank, is always going to be 2, right? And my index number tells me to make groups of 2 here. So my first step when I'm simplifying, right, is I want to go ahead and expand the variables, right? Or I want to expand out the exponents. So if I'm looking at my x's first, right, x to the 6th power is just x multiplied 6 times. And y to the 3rd power is just y multiplied 3 times here. Secondly, I want to make groups of 2 or 3, right, depending on my index number, right? If my index number is 3, I'm going to make groups of 3. If it's 2, I'm going to make groups of 2 here. Okay, so in this specific example, right, my index number is 2, so I'm going to make groups of 2 of the same variable here. So I can group all of my x's. I can group 2 of my y's together, and I've got a 3rd one hanging out here, which I'll take care of in a moment. My 3rd step says that for every group, write the variable 1 time on the outside of the radical. Right, so just like we did in 1.4 when we simplified with just numbers, every time I made a group of prime numbers, I put that number 1 time on the outside. So we're going to do the same with our variables here. So if you notice, I have 3 groups of an x variable, and I have 1 group of a y variable. So I'm going to go ahead and put those groups on the outside of my radical. And just like we did in 1.4, if there are any leftover variables, I'm going to write them again under the radical. Okay, since I can't group that last y, I'm going to put it back under the radical. And my very last step from here, right, I'm going to go ahead and multiply the groups if necessary, right? Since I have multiples of x on the outside, I can go ahead and simplify by using my product rule and multiplying them together. I don't have any y's to combine on the outside, so I'm just going to rewrite that and rewrite my radical to get my final answer of x cubed times y times the square root of y.